I'm Robert.
I'm Taplotaxel.
And I'm Julie Pizarski. And tonight on Goodnight America, I have the honor and privilege of interviewing the infamous number devil, Teplotaxel, and his apprentice, Robert. As all of you know, the number devil, Teplotaxel, comes from number heaven. And as Robert dreams with Teplotaxel, he is taken further and further into mathematical theory, where ideas will eventually take flight. Until everyone, from those who fumble over fractions to those who solve complex equations in their head, are able to be marveled at the beauty of numbers. So, how did you two meet?
I've got this one. Well, I started dreaming these really crazy dreams. I'm telling you, I felt so stupid. I was literally dreaming about being swallowed by a fish. Well, one day, this random red guy over here, he appeared in my dream, started spitting out numbers and teaching me math using rabbits and coconuts and all that.
That seems like quite the unique initial confrontation. It's been rumored that number devils don't give out their real names. Is that true?
Yes, in fact, this is very true. When he introduced himself to me, he would only refer to himself as the number devil. It wasn't until later on, in our last few days, until he shared his real name with me.
Taplotaxel!
Now, Robert, how did you feel when the number devil visited
If
you?
I'm being honest here, he's a pain in the asymptote. I've never been very fond of math, and the fact that there was a number devil over here visiting me wasn't my ideal situation. Mr. Bacco bothered me enough about math. But let me tell you, even though this guy wasn't my favorite at first, he grew on me. I realized math wasn't that impossible. It was actually quite simple when broken down into such easy to understand concepts.
It is very inspiring that such a small, devil-esque creature could influence your feelings in such an odd way. I feel that it is essential that I talk to your mentor himself. Teplotaxel!
Thank you. It is an honor to be here tonight. What would you like me to teach you about? The happy numbers? The rutabagas? How about the Fibonacci numbers?
No, that won't be necessary. I just have a few questions about you and your nightly experiences with your apprentice, Robert. First and foremost, what made you choose Robert?
Very good question. Robert was ideal case for me because he's so good in mathematics. And as a number devil, that was piercing to my eye. Let me tell you, every part of me wanted to help this boy in distress. It was a sign from the heavens that Robert needed me.
Sounds like you two truly were destined to meet. Since Robert had trouble grasping the concepts, how did you help him to understand?
Glad you asked. I took concepts and I broke them down into easy and relatable topics. This made Robert see math as more than just numbers and complex problems, but rather things that occur in his daily life.
So, both of you, what would you say that your favorite night was?
Night 13, the forgotten night.
Ooh, give me the details.
The forgotten night, this was my favorite topic, probability.
It was a rainy day.
No, stop. It was a sunny day. And the first thing I taught to Robert was the basic principles of probability. Robert, why don't you explain?
Teplotaxel taught me that probability is simply the number of favorable outcomes over the total number of possible outcomes. Probability is represented by a number from 0 to 1. If the probability of an event is 0, then the event is impossible. If the probability of an event is 1, then the event is a certainty. The total number of possible outcomes is called the sample space. For example, the sample space of a class grade is A, B, C, D, E, or F.
An easy way to determine the sample space is to use a tree diagram. For example, if the birth of boys and girls is assumed equally likely because they are random, what is the probability that a family with 3 children has all girls?
Well, if we draw a tree diagram like this one right here, we can determine that there are 8 possible outcomes, meaning the probability of all 3 girls is 1 out of 8.
Very good. Suppose you're rolling 2 fair dice. Which sum has the highest probability of occurring and what numbers produce this sum?
Well, since there are 36 outcomes, 7 seems to appear the most amount of times. So 7 is the sum with the highest probability of occurring. To produce the sum of 7, you'd have to combine 1 and 6, 2 and 5, 3 and 4, 4 and 3, 5 and 2, and 6 and 1.
So what is the probability of rolling a 7?
Well, since there are 36 outcomes and 7 appears 6 times, the probability of rolling a sum of 7 would have to be 6 out of 36.
Nicely done.
My, oh my, you guys sure have learned a lot. I can see why the Forgotten Night was your favorite night. But why was it forgotten?
I only introduced this topic to my best apprentices and Robert Boy here, who's the best of the best.
I see. Well, it was a pleasure meeting both of you, and I wish you two the best of luck in number heaven.
Thank you.
That's all I have for you tonight, folks. I'll see you tomorrow when we speak to the dynamic duo Maud and Claude. Good night, America!